How are you?
I'm very good.
Good to hear. I want to talk to you about the Wired article quite a bit because I find it absolutely fascinating.
Oh, okay. You're in Calgary, is that right?
I am, yeah. Have you ever been up here? Have you ever played up here?
Yeah, I did a festival there about 3 years ago or so.
Folk festival, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was really good, and rode my bike around.
Yeah, it's nice.
It was a nice day, so it was good.
Good to hear. How are things? Where are you right now? In New York?
Yeah, I'm in New York.
How are things there?
Just fine. Home kind of writing.
Oh, yeah? A new record, or are you working on...
New record stuff and a book about biking and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah? So you're a big bicycler?
Yeah, not as an athlete or anything like that, just as a way of getting around.
Oh, yeah, very nice. Are you an American citizen? Can you vote?
I used to be able to. I'm not an American citizen. I have a green card, and I used to be able to vote. And then recently, either they changed the laws or I was mistaken, but I got caught, and they said, no, you can't vote.
Oh.
I swear I learned when I was going to grade school that I could vote for everything except the president. Green card holders. But now maybe they've changed that.
Interesting. Well, it's an interesting time to be down there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
With everything that's going on.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, boy.
Well, especially this week with the whole Spitzer thing.
Yeah.
I think got a little too much publicity for something, but maybe that's just me.
Oh, man.
So tell me about this thing going on.
I'm still wondering,
What's that?
Why are they not telling us about the other clients?
I read your blog about that. Yeah, it's true. I wonder who they are.
Yeah, I wonder. They must be kind of wealthy and important people, and it's kind of amazing that they're only talking about Spitzer.
Yeah, I wonder if one of them is Bill Clinton. Wouldn't be overly surprised.
It wouldn't be surprising.
So tell me about this thing you got Tuesday in Brooklyn, the Benefit for Peace in Iraq and Justice.
It's an event that I think mainly Laurie Anderson kind of came up with it. I think she just said, maybe it's time to do something to remind people that although kind of the marches against the invasion of Iraq haven't happened much recently, that we still strongly disagree with the policy. And she said it might be important to kind of make that point from time to time, and let's do a concert. Let's do a little concert to raise money and awareness and that sort of thing. So I said, sure. If it's just a couple of songs, I can take a break and do that.
Do you have a band that you do that kind of stuff, or you just sit up there on your own?
No, I've got a couple of people from my own band, and I'm going to do some songs that are not on that I haven't put on records. And I've asked some of the others, like Nora Jones and Jake from Scissor Sisters, and let's see who else is there. Damian Rice and.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah, a few of the others. I said, "Will you sing backup? I'll teach you the harmonies."
Oh, that's cool.
And then we'll just do it as like a little harmony, like a little vocal harmony group.
I like that. That's cool.
I thought, that'll be really nice.
Yeah.
Since they're all really great, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, why not use their talents if they're going to be there, right? Okay, so let's get into this Wired article, because I do a show for local musicians here in town. We talk a lot about the business on the show and how they can move to that next level, almost, if you will. Mm-hmm. And my major concern about the whole industry at the moment is, I don't understand why labels, for example, I know your buddy Eno's working with Coldplay right now. The record, I think they're mixing it right now, so it'll be mastered in, a month or so. Why can't they just put it out right away? Why must there be this marketing and promotion wait time? Yeah,
you'd think that Radiohead and some others would have kind of said, well, you don't really need to do it that way.
No, not when you have that brand name, right?
Yeah, and you have this huge fan base.
Mm-hmm.
That as soon as you say it's available, they're going to go and get it. I don't. Yeah, the transition to the new kind of model or whatever that's going to be is awfully slow. I suspect that they'll Coldplay with EMI, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, I think it's their last one for them too.
Yeah, so I think they don't have a whole lot of choice in the matter at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think that maybe EMI would say, this band is going to be up for it. Let's try something different.
Yeah, hopefully. I know there's a band from Canada called Stars. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but they decided we're just going to throw it out there as soon as it's done, because no one's going to steal it that way. There's no reason for you to steal it if it's not out there for free first.
Yes, yeah. I think that's more of an issue for bands like that, where as soon as they release something, it goes on to fan sites and everywhere else. So I know the Radiohead people basically felt like, well, people are going to be put our record out there for free anyway. We may as well we may as well make it available ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody has that kind of problem.
No.
And not everybody has that kind of fan base.
Yeah, exactly. And the Radiohead fans are diehard music fans, at least for the most part.
Now, I know that, there's some other things. I think Bare Naked Ladies I believe they have some kind of arrangement where they kind of run. Yeah,
what did they tell me? They were on the show about a year ago.
It's kind of like they have their own record company, or like their management runs their record company or something.
Yeah, that's it. Network runs it, and then their label, I guess, just does the marketing and distribution kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the future? I know you talk about that in the article a little bit. That's the way the labels will go?
I think that's one future. It's definitely, I think, seems like a viable future, at least for hard product, for CDs, to have somebody else manage all the day-to-day running of things like that.
Yeah.
It could get a bit much for some of the bands. And I think if somebody like the management or a network or somebody else runs it for a number of groups, then it becomes cost-effective.
Mm-hmm. You think we're going to get away from album artwork, though, if that's the case? If you're only doing a little bit of manufacturing?
Yeah.
And the product isn't as much as it seems to be going?
Yeah.
Is that a shame? You going to miss it?
I probably will. Yeah, I mean, I like reading about the artist and holding it in my hand and reading it while I'm listening to the record. That's a nice convenience. I mean, I can, if they make a beautiful PDF or something that has lots of information about the songs and how it was done, or the band or whatever, with artwork on it, I can always print that out and read that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite the same as having it linked to the package that the music comes in, but there is, as people spend more and more time in front of their computer, it does seem like that's going to be where all the stuff is based anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
That you can give people things that you can't give them in a CD package. You can give them little movies, or you can give them little podcasts and recordings of interviews and all kinds of stuff like that.
It's funny now that people want more. You can't just have a record. You have to throw in that extra stuff for people to buy it.
Yeah, it's like DVDs. It's the bonus stuff that sells.
Yeah, exactly. It's not enough anymore just for the main product.
Yeah.
You have to have all these crazy features. I know it's not always the case, but you still think for bands to actually get out there and to become, I guess not every musician wants to be famous. You just love the artwork and you want to do it for that. But to get those TV performances, and I work on the radio, I know how this business works. It's very homogenized. You need that label backing you. How can a band without it be considered a serious act?
Oh, I know locally here, there's all these bands now coming out of Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm familiar with not all of them, but some of them. I bought their CDs or bought their MP3s online somewhere, and some of them I really like, but I have no idea what record label they're with or anything like that. And the marketing was how I heard about them. I think was, although they're written about in the press, it pretty much exclusively was online. And some of these bands have then developed sizable followings, and I go, wow, there's them, and then there's some other groups I've seen that seem to sell out the small, the music halls or whatever here in town.
Yeah.
And I go, how did everybody find out about this group?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen ads for them. They're never going to get played on kind of regular radio. But they somehow managed to develop a following and connect to the people who are interested in them.
How different is it now?
That's very encouraging, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, especially with MySpace and all that. It's completely changing the way people find out about music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's No, I don't want to say there's too many bands because that's not the way I want to say it properly. But people are spoiled for choice.
I think so too. And I've been down to South by Southwest a number of times. Not this year, but you get there, you just go, oh my God.
Oh, I can imagine.
We don't need any more singer-songwriters. I think we have enough. We've got our quota now.
It worked. The experiment worked.
But then somebody will come along and they'll write something that is in a pre-existing genre, and they'll do it, and you find it really moving, and you go, well, yeah, okay. I won't write this genre off yet.
Mm-hmm. You think we'll ever have an explosion like the Beatles again? You think it's possible?
I kind of do. It's a little hard to imagine because that was something that seemed to reach from like the super mainstream all the way to eventually to people who were more esoteric music fans.
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty hard to pull off.
Yeah, no. Well, especially now, like people are spoiled for choice. People are on the internet all the time. It's not as easy to, there were only 3 TV channels back then.
Yes.
You got on one, you get 1/3 of the population almost.
Exactly, and so that was what everybody knew about that week.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can't imagine that kind of thing happening. But at the same time, you look at other things that happen on the internet, like in blogs or the things that get passed around and all that kind of stuff, and you realize that some slip-up or some ridiculous image or some kind of thing that somebody finds gets passed around, and it seems like half the world has seen it in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go, wow, the fact that something can be so ubiquitous and travel at such speed makes you think that, well, if it's the right kind of thing, it could kind of excite a huge amount of the population really quickly.
Yeah.
But then, as with those things, everybody kind of gets bored with it and turns away from it within 5 minutes.
Very true. It's almost like they're all once-in-a-lifetime things.
Uh-huh.
You like that little segue? Let's play a song. So why don't you tell us about Once in a Lifetime?
When we recorded that record, we were recording kind of basic tracks and kind of jamming and improvising different things, and then we'd work with those jams and kind of structure them so that they still didn't have words or anything like that, but we'd say, okay, this part will be the verse, and this will be the chorus, and this will be the middle eight over here, and this will be the introduction, and that'll be the ending. And so although there was an awful lot missing, it had the underlying structure of a song. And then I'd sometimes improvise melodies on top of it, or in that case, Brian Eno improvised the melody that became the chorus, and I kind of, inspired by a lot of the kind of radio preachers that I'd heard in that year and the year before, I kind of got myself up into this thing where I just started improvising this rant, and I'd write it down. I was at home. I'd write it down and then structured it so that it fit the song, and I thought it was like this preacher talking about, well, I was imitating a preacher, but it was a person kind of preaching to themselves about how it sort of alienated they sort of felt. And then the chorus kind of is the release. It's kind of you kind of get the person transcends that feeling.
Very nice.
At least that's what I think it does. And
yeah, well, definitely. They juxtapose each other quite well. We had
no idea it would be a popular song, and I don't think it was ever a single.
Oh, really?
No,
it just became.
Back then, they still had singles.
Yeah, they still do in England now, though.
Really, and well, whether or not it was a physical single, it also meant that it got worked to radio, and radio was told, play this one. Want you to play. And, I don't think that exactly. It really kind of happened sort of spontaneously and over a very long period of time. It wasn't like it happened when the record came out.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of happened over like 3 or 4 years. We also I did a video for the song where I kind of imitated a kind of preacher who was kind of going into a trance and getting the fever and shaking all over and all that kind of thing. And at that time, MTV was just beginning, and they didn't have a lot of videos to play, and they actually did play videos.
Yeah, when they played video.
Yes. So between myself and it seemed like just a handful of other artists, if we'd give them something, they'd play it to death.
Must have been nice.
So that song got on there, and they liked it, and people liked it, liked the video, and that, I think, really helped it a lot as well. Because, as I said, it wasn't like an immediate radio single, but I think that all these little elements sort of helped people start to hear it, and I guess they liked it.
And it still works this day.
Wow.
It's crazy. You write a song 20 years ago, and it's still, out there.
I know.
It must be a really cool feeling.
It is pretty nice. Yeah, I can't deny that.
You think, I remember Jason Mraz was on the show a few years ago, and he was talking about you can't be in this business to make money. He'd be fine going back to playing coffee shops and sleeping on people's floors just because he loved playing music so much. And I wonder if that's the way it's going to go, because you can't make money off the product anymore.
I think it's going to take a serious hit, and it's going to the musicians are going to be hurting for a while. But I think a lot of them are finding that through these alternative mediums, they can reach an audience, and maybe they're finding other sources of income. I don't know if it's enough. I mean, people talk about that they're getting income from kind of a corporate sponsor or licensing songs to a TV show or a movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I license songs to movies and TV shows, but...
well, you sold that song to Microsoft, too, right?
Yes, but
yeah.
But I know that part of the reason I can do that is because those songs were popular to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But to license an unknown song for a band that's coming up, I thought they're not going to pay you the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Until you're kind of established. But then, if they kind of help establish you by putting your song in TV shows or whatever, then that might work.
Well, look at Feist. I mean, she has a following up here in Canada, but now because of the Apple iPod commercial, I don't know if she's raking in the coin, but I know she's doing all right.
Uh-huh.
It's just it's an interesting conundrum, because that used to be selling out, right? And now it's like, well, you got to eat. This is how it's got to be done.
Yeah, I found it a little bit iffy, but at the same time, yeah, for some artists, it really does the trick. It kind of, I don't know if she got incredibly well paid by Apple, but it certainly got her song to a very large audience.
I don't think anyone gets incredibly well paid by Apple. I mean, I thought you made more in the music store than it seems that you're saying in the article here. That it basically is like a record deal. You're not making the money that people think you are.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
Unless, I wonder, what if you have no label and you sell your stuff yourself to iTunes? You still don't make the dollar, though.
You don't. Yeah, you still don't make the whole dollar. iTunes still takes 30%, but you're getting a whole lot more than if you did it through a record label, where traditionally you would still get only like 15% of the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you do it yourself, you're getting closer to that 70%, which is a huge difference.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you pose an interesting question in the article. In order to make more money, can recording artists band together and go on strike like the writers did? Which seems impossible, but it's not a bad idea.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Do you think it can happen?
Is
there a union?
Incrementally. I have heard of some kind of big label acts, I forget who it was recently, said, no, you're not going to get my record. Even though we have a contract, I'm going on strike, and you're not getting it unless we kind of we kind of take another look at all this.
Wow.
But not too many people can do that.
No, there's not many names. Well, look at Trent Reznor basically did that.
Oh, yeah.
He just said, the hell with it. I'll put it out myself and see what happens.
Uh-huh.
And I heard...
Apparently it's doing really well.
That's, what did I hear? $1.6 million in its first week.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
No, I mean, especially not in this day and age. 10 years ago, maybe not, but now it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah, I would say so.
Have you heard it? It's actually pretty cool.
No, I haven't heard it. It's all instrumental tracks?
Yeah, atmospheric, very, just sit in the room and chill kind of thing. Yeah, it's nice.
That sounds great.
It's different for him, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer home recording or studio?
I do a mixture. I'll do the writing part at home, and sometimes I'll do, like, my vocals, or at least part of them, or guitar overdubs or something. I'll do that kind of stuff at home and then bring it into the studio to do other kinds of stuff that I might want to do. Like if I want to have a band play, I can't do that at home.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I can do a lot of the kind of the time-consuming stuff at home. It really takes a big chunk out of the bill.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, when I read about artists who've made their record and just said, wow, we spent months and months and months in this, X studio or Y studio, and I'd go, I know what those places cost. That's a fortune.
Yeah.
I thought, why would anybody spend that much time in a recording studio anymore? But some people have a lot of money and they can do that.
Yeah, yes, I guess. Or they know people and somehow got deals or whatever. I don't know. Tell people about Artist Share, because I think it's a really cool website and a way to get the music out there that's different than anything else I've ever heard of before. Yeah,
I wonder if it... Again, it's the kind of thing that is going to work for certain kinds of artists. I think for like straight-ahead pop artists, where the kind of loyalty to the artist is not that strong, it's going to be hard to do something like that. But the kind of jazz artists that they have, and to certain kinds of other kinds of artists, where there's all this loyalty and where the fans want to hear the next thing. Yeah, that model could certainly work. And
how does it work? You throw money into a pile kind of thing, and then that goes to fund the record?
Yeah, it seems to work on different levels. That they ask people to basically pre-buy the record.
Okay.
It's kind of in a way what they're saying. For the most part, they're asking people contribute this amount, and we'll promise you a record and. Maybe other things. Maybe they might promise a concert ticket as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it goes up, if you contribute more, you get more stuff. And then I think the ultimate contribution is you get to be listed as, like, executive producer of the record.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Get your name in the booklet. Everyone wants that.
All that, yeah.
How are you going to do? You said you mentioned earlier you were working on some music. What are your thoughts for if it ends up being a record? How you put it out there? I'm
doing it, I think, a bunch of those ways, because I'm working on a few different projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one will be I will license it to a distributor. So that's kind of the Bare Naked Ladies model, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's another one that I'm talking about selling it directly online, which is more the Trent Reznor kind of thing.
Yeah, doing it that same way, kind of through your own server?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then there's another one that's more conventional that I'm going through None Such Records.
Oh yeah, okay, like back in the day.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, it's a lot of things to keep track of, but I think that's possible too. That you kind of you can kind of choose the way to do it that's right for that particular project.
And what are these projects? Are they still too new or vague to talk about?
Yeah, okay. Well, one is a score I did for a TV show called Big Love.
Oh, yeah, okay.
One is a record of songs I've been doing with Brian Eno.
Very nice. He's really busy these days.
I know. And, well, he didn't have to do that much work so far on this. He basically had a bunch of tracks that he didn't know what to do with, and I said, give them to me, I'll finish them up.
Oh, okay.
And the third one is a collaboration with Fatboy Slim. It's kind of a song cycle about Imelda Marcos.
Well, that was the play of sorts.
And so I'm recording different singers.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Female singers to sing each song. And that part is going fine, but it's slow going. It's a lot of talking to managers and working out people's schedules and things.
Oh, I can imagine. You going to perform that again? I know it got performed, twice? 3 times?
Yeah. We just did it a few times.
Would you do it again?
Yeah. Once we get it all now it seems like I can see the record actually getting finished. So
mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, let's wait till it gets finished now.
And then bring it on the road, maybe?
Something.
Come up to Calgary, perhaps?
Could be.
That'd be nice. I ask everybody that comes on the show 5 questions, 1-word answers.
Okay.
iPod or CDs?
God. I'm looking around at, I'm sorry, this is not a one-word answer.
That's
fine. I
look
around, and there's stacks of CDs everywhere in front of me, but I mainly listen to the music on an iPod.
Yeah, conundrum.
Yes.
Lennon or McCartney?
Oh, my God. Okay, I'll say Lennon.
Alcohol or marijuana?
Alcohol.
Song you've written you're most proud of?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, don't make them easy ones.
The Great Intoxication.
Cool. And one word, David Byrne.
Doppelganger.
There you go. Very nice. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Let's close out with a tune. I'll give you an option. Let's go And She Was or Burning Down the House.
Burning Down the House.